listening to the Dr. Claude Kershner Show. My name is Dr. Claude Kershner, and we are here to serve organizational leaders and agile teams who strive for excellence and differentiation. I hope you enjoy the content. If you have any questions or would like some additional resources, please visit our website at www.archconsults.com. Enjoy. Today, we're going to do something just a little bit different. I recorded an 11 lab script because I wanted to make sure I nailed this concept well because it's pervasive in a lot of different organizations that I work with, and certainly with new ventures, new entrepreneurs, and certain entrepreneurs who may be struggling with resources at first, inner city entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs that might experience some level of poverty. It's called the commodity trap. And when one can really understand the essence of this commodity trap and how it suffocates businesses, and how it works, we can break out of it. So the goal is break out of it. Please listen, like and subscribe. And thank you so much for your listenership and your viewership. God bless.
Today, I want to take you inside one of the most destructive cycles in entrepreneurship. It's something I see over and over again when I work with small business owners and community entrepreneurs. It's called the commodity trap. The commodity trap is simple to describe, but devastating to experience. It happens when customers can't tell the difference between you and your competitors. When there's no difference, what do? They choose based on price or convenience. And if you've ever tried to compete on price, you already know it's a race to the bottom. Someone always undercuts you, and nobody wins. Jerry Garcia said it best. You do not merely want to be considered just the best of the best. You want to be considered the only ones who do what you do. That's the goal. To break free from being just another option and become the obvious choice. But let's break this down bubble by bubble, because the commodity trap isn't just one problem. It's a cycle of forces that reinforce each other, slowly squeezing the life out of a business. The first bubble is no differentiation. You're selling something that looks the same as everyone else. Maybe it's a cleaning service, a small restaurant, a moving company, or a childcare provider. You believe you care more, you work harder. But if the customer can't see or value that difference, it doesn't exist. Once customers see you as just another, they default to price. And that sets the trap in motion. The second bubble is low entry barriers. These are businesses that are easy to start. Anyone with a mop, a truck, or a fryer can get going. That means competitors flood the market. The easier it is to enter, the more crowded it becomes, and the harder it is to stand out. That leads to the third bubble, low prices and margins. Entrepreneurs often undervalue themselves. They think, if I charge less, I'll get more business. But someone always goes lower. $50 becomes $45, then $40, then $35, and every drop shrinks your margin, the money left over after costs. With thin margins, there's nothing to reinvest, nothing to grow, nothing to sustain. The fourth bubble is high unit costs. While your prices are being pushed down, your costs are often higher than larger competitors. Why? Because you're small scale, you're labor intensive. You don't have machines that reduce costs. You don't buy in bulk, so you pay retail. A caterer shopping at the supermarket pays far more than a distributor. A handyman renting tools pays more than a contractor with a warehouse. High unit costs plus low prices. That's the squeeze. The fifth bubble is limited volume and capacity. Small entrepreneurs can only handle so much work. A childcare provider is capped by license. A painter can only paint so many houses a month. A restaurant has only so many tables. With razor-thin margins, you'd need massive volume to survive, but your capacity just isn't there. The sixth bubble is intense competition. Because entry is easy, the market is saturated. Customers switch for $5 or for whoever picks up the phone. There's no loyalty when everything looks the same. The fight never ends. The seventh bubble is labor-intensive. Most of these businesses run on the entrepreneur's own sweat. You are the cleaner, the driver, the cook, the bookkeeper. Growth is capped by your hours in the day. You can't work on the business because you're always working in the business. Burnout becomes inevitable. The eighth bubble is low bargaining power. You don't buy enough to get wholesale discounts. You don't have leverage with suppliers, landlords, or lenders. You pay more for inputs while charging less to customers. It's an impossible game. Now, here's the key teaching point. These bubbles reinforce each other. No differentiation leads to price competition. Low entry barriers bring more competitors. That forces prices down. High unit costs and low volume crush margins even further. Labor intensity caps growth. Low bargaining power keeps costs high. And with margins gone, you can't reinvest in differentiation, so you look even more like a commodity. The cycle tightens and the business spirals downward. It's not just a trap, it's a system. And unless you break the cycle, it repeats. So how do we escape? The answer is differentiation. You have to create meaningful differences that customers see, value, and are willing to pay for. Here's a framework that makes it practical. Think of your business at 4 levels. Core product. What's the true benefit you deliver? A uniform maker isn't selling fabric. They're selling professionalism, brand identity. A landscaper isn't cutting grass. They're selling curb appeal and peace of mind. Tangible product. This is the quality, design, features, reliability. A restaurant can stand out with freshness, plating, or variety. A childcare provider with safety certifications or flexible hours. Augmented product. These are the extras around the core. Delivery, warranties, training, after-sales support, flexible scheduling. A moving company that guarantees 24-hour service or a cleaner that offers eco-friendly products isn't just selling labor, they're selling peace of mind. Communicated product. This is your identity, your story. The veteran-owned contractor, the eco-conscious cleaning company, the shop that donates to the local school. It's how people perceive you, the emotional connection you create. These 4 levels are where you find ways to stand out. And once you stand out, you can start breaking the cycle. Let's add some real-world examples. Enterprise Rent-A-Car was in a pure commodity business. Every car rental company had the same vehicles, same prices, same terms. How did Enterprise break out? With one small difference. We'll pick you up. That single phrase moved them out of the commodity space into the convenience space. Copier companies realized the machines themselves had become commodities, so they sold the copiers at break-even or even at a loss. Why? Because the real margins were in service contracts. The service contract differentiated them and created loyalty. A restaurant with no marketing budget threw a party, but only for hairdressers. Why hairdressers? Because they stand all day talking to dozens of people. For 6 months, every haircut came with word-of-mouth advertising. That was differentiation through communication. Even bowling alleys know the game. The games barely break even. Shoes make a little, but the snack bar? That's where 90% of the profit comes from. So smart owners design their business to maximize time spent waiting. Leagues, tournaments, events, all to drive snack bar sales. That's differentiation in the revenue model. So let's pull this together. The commodity trap is a cycle. No differentiation. Low entry barriers, price wars, high costs, limited volume, labor intensity, low bargaining power. Each one reinforces the other. The squeeze comes from both sides. Prices pushed down, costs pushed up, until the business has no margin and no room to breathe. The only way out is to differentiate. And that means looking at your business through the 4 levels: core, tangible, augmented, communicated. What is the real benefit you deliver? How can your features stand out? What extras can you add that competitors don't? And what story or identity can you communicate that makes you unforgettable? Jerry Garcia's wisdom guides us. Don't just be the best among many. Be the only one who does what you do. When you're the only, you're no longer in the commodity trap. You're no longer just another option. You're building loyalty, protecting your margins, and giving yourself the space to grow. That's how you escape the commodity trap.